Hey guys, how's it going? This is a time-lapse drawing of Captain America, and so while I'm laying down the lines, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to color the piece. I mean, should I do grayscale or should I do a color drawing? I decided on doing a color piece because I haven't uploaded one in a while. So I decided that it was going to be in color, but I want the whole piece to be a little desaturated. I'm going to start coloring the face first, just in case I change my mind, and just shade in grayscale. I lay a base color for skin, and then I'm going to try to define his facial features. I also drew in his chin strap, which will help me move on to the helmet. I'll work on the edge of the helmet and work my way inward, being careful not to color in the A or the wing on the side of the helmet. I then work on adding the core shadow on the helmet to help describe its shape. I felt like I need to make the helmet a little darker, so that's what I'm doing. This also made me darken the ear cover as well. I then move on to coloring in the strap, and I'm going to use this as future reference into drawing the star on his chest. I'm filling in the blue, starting from his neck, with his right side being a little darker, and I'm going to work my way until I get to the star shape that is on his chest. I also start to add in some of the subtle stripe texture that is on his uniform. Once the center is done, I'm going to start working on his left side. So right now I'm just defining some of the details a little more so that I know the sections I'll be working on. Here I'm working around his left shoulder area, adding the sections that are created by the padding, and then start to color in the straps that help hold his belt. I've added the grooves and I've lightened the padded surface so that it pops out a little more. I continually work on the details within the straps, making them a little darker and giving them some dimension so that it doesn't look flat. This includes the padding around the deltoid area, and I'm going to treat this area the same way as I did for the top of his shoulder. Now I'm basically adding the details to help describe his left arm. And I haven't noticed this before, but he has these two leather straps around his bicep so that the padding on his deltoid is stabilized. Once his left arm is done, I move on to his core area. I filled in this horizontal strap, not quite sure what it was, but anyways, I then work on the red straps, and I left the metal pieces alone for now and start to work on his abdominal area. Like the shoulder pads, there are pieces of padding that split into sections, so I'm trying to visually describe it. I'm also trying to draw in the slight wrinkles within the section because it's made of fabric. I used a slightly darker value for the belt buckle, and it has some interesting parts, and so I'm drawing that in, which helped me transition to the leather pouches around the belt. I'm going to treat the pouches the same way throughout his waist. I'm just filling it in, and I'm going to make the flaps a little lighter, and I'm going to leave a little speck of white on each flap to represent buttons. With the pouches done, I move on to the holster because it's connected to the belt, and then it's connected to his right thigh. It's also the same color, so it's nice to group it all into one. I make the transition to working on his legs, filling the blue first, and then I'm going to make it match the rest of his uniform. I'm shading in the wrinkles and shadows to give it some shape, and then I'm going to add in the stripe texture. When that's complete, I'm going to work on a shield, working inside out on the red rings first, and then work on the silver ring and finish off with the blue center, and just try to merge them all together so that they look like one object. I add in the minor details on the shield with my pencil, and now all there is left to do is draw in his right arm. I started off with drawing in the straps and then fill in his shoulder pads, just like how I did the first side. I then work on the wrinkled details around his bicep and elbow. I'm going to make this area a little darker because the light wouldn't be hitting this area too much. I finished Captain America off by drawing in this glove and adding the little wrinkles on his fingers, and adding the highlights on the edges of different sections. Now with everything set in place, I just go over the whole piece, working on minor adjustments. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be uploading another one soon. So until then, take care.